Okay, welcome, and this is my latest edition of or update on my solo trap. This is one of the two solo traps that I have. I keep two around only for the reason of it, in case I get zeroed out on one, and also the second one, or it allows me to test different various comps and various makeups and whatnot. And since the release of familiars and T5s and all of that, we really haven't had a we really don't have the T2 and T1 combo that works that well against max familiars. So that's my quest, so to say, to have still tried to create a solo trap that's very low in might. Obviously, we can't have 50, 60 million solo traps anymore. It's usually above 100. A lot of people are running 150 million and above sometimes. I'm still trying to hover on the very low 100s. This particular one is 114 mil. I think at the highest it was 117, 116 million, and I was still burning or getting burnt by Cav, Max Familiar, Mythic players. And that was the only one that was burning me. But since the days of this trap being 80 million, it's had some composition changes, and I will share that with you on this video here as well. And of course, it's not done, it's not tested still yet. It has had recent change on comp, and that's why I'm sharing this with you guys. So let's go ahead and move on to might itself. 114 million, and I am going to show you my gear. Basically, I put these on because they are the best option for me at this time. I haven't really gone out and purchased Material Madness. I'm not trying to get this to mythic level as far as the equipment go, because I don't want people to see just a full mythic gear and just not solo me. So this is about what I'm gonna do, and then anything that gets upgraded here, they're going to just go through natural F2P process. So picking up halos here and there, and maybe eventually a year down the road it may. And also, you'll notice that I don't have quick swap, and this is something I may have to consider and add few mites to, just because as the gear gets better I may need that later down the road as well. So I may do that, but for now, basically what I do is I stay with gear on, and I get hits even with this gear on. It's not the best gear out there. I think it's somewhat of correct gear, but people still, I mean, billion mite people, they don't, quite a bit of billion miters out there that'll still hit this blind. So no problem there. Now, reason why I like to stay as low as possible is because I may not be the best at baiting people to hit. So lower the might, we know that it's a little bit easier to bait. That's why I'm trying to keep it low. Yes, I've seen plenty of great solo trap people out there, 180 mil, even like 150 mil. They're just baiting solo traps like no other. So they have special set of skills that I don't have. Me, I need more of a low might trap and try to catch them with my composition. Now, with low might and low troop composition, I wouldn't say I have low troop composition, but if you do, you can still get by if your stats are great enough. But with this particular account, I'm gonna show you my stat. It's in 300. So this is what we're looking at. 340, 335, 290 is all we're looking at. So it's not the greatest stat, but it's not the weakest. I know I need to get my cab up, but I like to have my infantry, since most of us are infantry front. I like to keep my higher stat on the infantry side. maybe later down the road it'll get better. And I'm constantly hoping for better jewels or higher grade jewels. And that's where I'm trying to get to, something that doesn't add might to me anymore. So if I can get jewels, awesome. And I'm still working on a few familiars to add a little bit more onto my core, I guess, core stats. So we'll see what happens there. And then also, let's see down here, we'll see 277% on army HP. Besides that, I don't have much more. I am not, yeah, that's, we know we're in the low 300s. Now, one thing that has changed, and I kind of feel like this is helping, is that I've actually opened up Infantry Wedge, and it does seem like it's helping a little bit. But I have tested it with Infantry Wedge against a Cav Blast by Max Familiar T5 player. It will still burn, even with 20 million troops. It still burns at 333 stat and whatnot. So, but it does seem to do better overall. I feel like some of the lower players that was maybe a little below mythic full max familiar, there was one or two that could have burned or that burned me before, but it seems like since I went into wedge or infantry wedge, I feel like it's doing a little bit better. But I also feel like the infantry blasts are causing a little bit more wounded troops on my side. But that's okay because it's not filling the infirmary, and I have been hit by max infantry and range with max familiars, paid familiars, that is. So, and it seems to not burn, and it actually caps them. So it's doing better on that side. So Cav is the only one that I'm actually worried about. But infantry wedge again, it seems to do a little better. I'm sort of convinced that it might be a better formation to sit in. Now, I have taken some. I think recently I took like six gangbang or six March gangbang by quite a big people, billion miters. Um, Actually five. Out of five, one burnt me, and then four was capped. And one that did burn me was the cab with Max Infirmary. But I did random out on all of them at one time because I wanted to see what it could do. And of course, it filled my sanctuary. And so I can resurrect some of them. I'm not sure if I want to resurrect just yet. I know, let's see how many we got. Close to a million. That's going to be adding 8 million might to me. That kicks me to 122 million. That's why I'm not really doing it. I probably will do like a sanctuary trap. Maybe get them all ready and then resurrect them when I'm about to take something big hit. And it basically puts 1 million additional on my front line for infantry, and that's maybe potentially happening at KVK. I can resurrect probably about 150,000 by then, so I will probably get that done. But that's what happened with last testing I did. Let's go over troop comp. So troop composition, it says 18 million. I think I got a little bit more. 18.5. Yeah. So 18 million, almost 600. Now the biggest difference here is that we know from previous video I have a lot of archers and cataphracts on T1, which are my backline, but I just felt like my T1, it was actually over 8 million archers, and I just felt like the 8 million archers that I had wasn't effective enough against T5 calves coming in with max familiar. They were actually probably doing more damage to me by the time my archers can actually get them down. So that's what got me thinking, and this is why I actually changed the composition. So I know there's been people who's actually all across the board on T3 on the back, or just infantry, range, and calves. But I don't think I'm going to be needing that, and I still am not a biggest fan of T3. So what I've done was, obviously I always like to carry big front line with the T2 infantry. So, it actually, I was above 5 million, 5.5, something like that, or 5.67 ish. And of course, you saw million into century. So that's, but 4 million, 4.3 million is still plenty of front line to hold up against most of the players, 99% of the players. Easy. But besides that, I think what was happening was my backline wasn't contributing enough. So what I thought was boosting my T3 range only. So I'm going to probably boost to about 500k to bring me into like 115 million range, or 115 million might ish. And that's where I'm probably going to stay. But I have 430k right now, and I haven't since tested against the Cav Max Familiars T5 player since then. But that's my next test. And if we do cap them, we know for sure that T3 range in the back line definitely helps. And we'll see what happens. And that will be my next update once I test against a Cav Blast Pack 5 or Paid Familiar Max player. Or not Max player, but you know what I mean. One of the Titans, Mythic Titans with Pack 5 Familiars. So that was the biggest change. So now I sit on Infantry Wedge, and I have about 500k of T3 range. Of course, T3 infantry and cav I don't have, and reason why is I don't have them is because they add so much might per. They add 24 might per. So even if I add 100,000, that would actually add 2.4 million. So I don't want to do that. And adding, let's say, million across, that will add 24 million. Now I'm dealing with 140 million castle, and I just don't feel comfortable. I don't feel confident enough that I can bait with 140 million castle. So I'm just going to keep it this way, and probably if it works, I may not even train any more troops after this, because I am maxed out on my might in from what I like. And then of course 50,000 T3 siege was added last time because I did have a player walk back with the siege. But if this works, then what I will do is I'll probably chop down about 10,000 siege each time to see as far as what it could do. And really, dismissing, let's say, 50,000, it would save me another 1.2 million might. So I can actually bring it down to about 113 million might, possibly. Um, and obviously, I have all infirms except one barracks, 660 or 662,000 hospitals or beds. And research wise, again, military, this was kind of a mistake. I don't think, see, I didn't plan on taking this to 9, so I may not need it to take this all the way 9 here. I could have possibly done a little bit less, but who knows? I mean, maybe that extra percent is what's helping me too. But you can also replace that with gems too. So eventually, if you get good enough gems, I think you can go with lower might. I think sub 100 million might is possible. And as my gems upgrade, or not gems, but jewels upgrade, I will be killing off or dismissing some troops as well, just to make it. I want to see what's the lowest possible might to cap Titan full mythic Titans. And that's ultimately our solo trap goal, right? To go around just hunting down Titans, hopefully. Now, of course, these very limited, not much. Not much here either. And same thing with Monster, not too much. And probably will not be doing much. This potentially might be later. May end up getting 2 quick swaps just so that if I do end up with mythic gears eventually later down the road, then I may need to create or start fake gear and just do a quick swap on them. Here, I did have to open up infantry wedge, so that did cost me some might here. Same thing here, breakdown. Now there is a potential for another might increase if I add another slot, which would increase me 900 just for that. So it would pump me for probably 2-3 million might additional. So I can see potentially me doing it only if my jewels upgrade and I'm running higher stat into like 3 or upper 300 or 400. Then I may go ahead and do that as well. But that's where it sits. I think we share the gear. Yep, this is my gear right now. And most of my gear actually have blue or purple jewels. I don't really have too many. See, here's purple. And I'm just going all across just infantry, range, and cav. There's one blue that I had. Eventually, this will probably go away once I get enough jewels to make him purple. What else? Yeah, so it's probably half blue, half purple. Yep. Well, maybe more blue than purple. These, I just kind of threw it on for DN rallies because I don't need Cav HP 15% or Cav Attack 5%. It's better for me to have blue Cav jewels. So I made this just in case if I need to rally a Dark Nest with Cavs or whatever. So that's really, I mean, these are almost leftovers. But yeah, here's my jewels. I don't really have much. And once I get more, I will upgrade them. But that's what it is. Let me see what else we got. Familiars. Yeah, let's go over familiars. So these two are the familiars that I have on my wall with the heroes. So these are my F2P heroes, and I went with 2 infantry front heroes for the HP that it gives. So one that's missing is Rusty the Rabbit, but I feel comfortable with this particular lineup. Others will probably change out Oathkeeper or Demon Slayer for the Child of Light. It really depends. I think it's your preference. I can't really see a big proof, like solid proof saying, Child of Light will serve me better in this particular instance. So that's where I'm going with. Now, I can have other familiars if I wanted to, but this one gives me range 15%. This one gives me Cav 15%. And I can't go with pack 3 familiars because they will never proc on you because I have too many troops for like this to proc. You would need 10% of your range gone, which means with 8 million range backline plus now 500,000 T3, I would actually need 850,000 range troops to go down in order for this to proc one time. So it's really not effective to either get that or even Gem and Gremlin. Because you know what, 850,000, I don't think it happens too many times. I don't think it has actually ever happened. So that's not going to work. These, yeah, if you have the money and you can actually afford it, great, 600%. But again, here, when 4% of your troops have fallen, 20 million, 4%, look at that's 800,000 troops again. For me to for this to proc one time, I would need to lose 800,000. If I lost 800,000, I'll probably lost that battle anyway because of morale loss. So 800,000 is way too many. So these are great just for the skill purpose, like infantry attack that it gives me extra 5%. And potentially, maybe I can get 25 medals or runes and take it into almost level what? Max it at infantry 10%. Yes, great. So it would be great in that purpose. Like this guy here, I can use it for army HP maybe later down the road, but obviously it's not cost effective for us. But great ones are Nosferus at skill. You can still get Cav 10%, and I would. I haven't opened it yet, but I do need to get this, and getting that will give me additional few more percent there. Same thing with Trickstar. Right now, currently at 8%. And then we have Mo Shaman for infantry, currently at 8%, and probably work on that. Also, infirmary capacity is great to work on. I can get it up to 5% at max, which would give me a little bit more room, and that would be great. And I think rest of them, we know these two are maxed out, basically on the army talent. So that's done. So those three will give me core stats. These two are familiar stats. And then hopefully like with Blackwing or whatever, it's currently maxed at what I have, at what stage I have them at hatchling. And until I get them to adult, I can't really do much. Next thing I will probably do once I get these maxed out at level 60, I'll probably work on these to get them to level 20. And they're not much, like this HP, probably not going to help me that much, but it's free stat without gaining too much might. So I would definitely add these on later down the road. So I'm still constantly working on them. Griffin, I actually decided I'm going to push this up because not for this purpose, but later down the road, if I max this, I can actually get 50 more thousand into my embassy, and this is one of the reason why I increased my embassy. So I can get maximum of 1,050,000 reinforcement, and I think we can still serve it as maybe a T4 reinforcement to this current trap, and that will probably cap even the biggest of the titans out there, and that would be great to use for KVK, I think. So that's what we're going to be doing there. Okay, so we got the familiars. We have the gears. We have the research. We have the wall heroes. Let's see what else. We know the buildings is pretty much empty. It's all infirmary, marketplace, and all of this. I didn't do much. I'm probably not going to do much. I actually was in the process of tearing the familiar buildings down soon once I get those three to max. I'm probably not going to need them. And every little thing I can save and trim off of might, I will do, and I'm willing to do. So that's that. What else we got here? Now, heroes. One thing that I tend to do to prepare for later when there's gonna be different update. So what I do is my heroes. I haven't hired a bunch, and obviously, all of these would not be hired. But in case one day that I decide that this thing gets zeroed, and then maybe I want to take it into a low might T4 type of castle, then what I'm doing is I'm actually getting all of these ready so that they can actually have enough metals for upgrade later. So once I get enough metals, then I don't have to worry about it. Another thing you'll notice here, let's say Rose Knight here, you notice I have 250 medals, just like same with Oathkeeper, same with Demon Slayer, same with Bomb and Goblin, and one more with Snow Queen. And these are the ones that if you look back or think back, these are the ones that are on my wall. And reason why I got 250 extra medals each is just in case if IGG ever decide that they want to upgrade heroes to mythic heroes, then I'll have the medals ready and I can upgrade them on the spot without any issues. And then, so now I'm done with that. I'm going to just collect 320 medals for all of these heroes that haven't gotten hired yet. So if I do ever decide to go T4, then that's what I'll do. I'll hire them up and then just take them to gold as soon as possible. The resources, I'm sure I haven't checked, but I'm sure I got plenty. Yeah, that's pretty good resources. Yep. Yeah, I don't use a lot of resources here, and I don't really have time to go out and trap on a daily basis. So it's constant building, and then I get to test out it. But when I do test them, they go in spurts, so I get a lot of testing done. Anyhow, that's my trap so far. That's how it's built. It seems to be working somewhat. It's not 100% burn proof yet. That's what I'm striving to make a burn proof low might or low enough might solo trap. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope this helps some of you guys or guide some of you that's going to be building a trap. It's a long process, but once you get it, it's really fun to trap those big billion might people, and it's definitely worth it, I think. So thanks again, and I'll see you guys on the next video.